Most people think retirement is something you do when you're old, grey, and too tired to enjoy life. But what if I told you that you don't have to wait until you're 65 to start living on your own terms? What if you could wake up every day without an alarm clock, travel when you want, spend time with your family, and work only if you choose to? That's exactly what early retirement is about. And it's not some impossible dream. It's about following a plan, sticking to it, and letting time and money work for you. I'm going to share the exact steps I used to retire early, 48. And the best part is you can steal this plan and make it your own. The very first step to retiring early is learning how to live below your means and save aggressively. 8. Now, that doesn't sound glamorous, but it's the foundation that makes everything else possible. Too many people fall into the trap of thinking that as soon as they start earning more, they should start spending more. They upgrade their cars, move into bigger houses, buy the latest gadgets, and take on debt just to look successful. But the truth is, that kind of lifestyle is the biggest roadblock to financial freedom. If you want to retire early, you need to flip that thinking on its head. Instead of asking, how much can I afford to spend? The question should be, how much can I afford to keep? Every pound or dollar you save is a step closer to buying your freedom. Think of money like employees. When you spend it, it's gone forever. But when you save and invest it, it goes to work for you. And the more employees you have working for you, the faster you can walk away from a job you no longer need. That's why living below your means isn't about depriving yourself. It's about making choices today that give you options tomorrow. One of the best strategies is to track your expenses and cut out anything that doesn't add real value to your life. Most people don't even realize how much they're wasting each month on small things, subscriptions they don't use, eating out constantly, buying things they don't need just because it feels good in the moment. When you add it up, those little leaks in your budget can cost you thousands every year. If you redirect that money into savings and investments instead, you accelerate your path to early retirement. Another key element is avoiding lifestyle creep. This is when your expenses rise every time your income rises. You get a raise at work and suddenly you justify a new car. Your side hustle starts making money. And suddenly you're dining at expensive restaurants every week. If you let your spending climb with your income, you'll always feel like you're running in place, no matter how much you make. The people who retire early resist this trap. They keep their lifestyle relatively modest even as their income grows, which means the gap between what they earn and what they spend keeps widening. That gap is where wealth is built. Some people think saving aggressively means you have to give up all the fun in life, but that's not true. It's about prioritizing. Instead of spending on things that only impress other people for 5 seconds, you spend on things that genuinely bring you joy and cut out the rest. Maybe that means keeping your old car instead of buying a flashy one, or cooking at home during the week so you can splurge on a weekend trip. 8. It's about making conscious choices instead of letting money slip through your fingers without thought. Now, when I say save aggressively, I mean aiming for a much higher savings rate than the average person. Most people save 5–10% of their income and wonder why retirement feels so far away. If you want to retire early, you should be looking at saving 30%, 40%, or even 50% of your income if possible. The more you save, the faster you build that investment base that eventually sets you free. It might sound extreme, but when you realize that every pound saved today is a pound that can grow and pay you forever, it starts to feel less like a sacrifice and more like buying freedom. One practical way to make this easier is to pay yourself first. The moment money comes into your account, set aside your savings before you even think about spending. If you wait until the end of the month to see what's left, there usually won't be much left. Automate your savings so it's non-negotiable. That way, the 48 You build wealth in the background while living on what's left, and over time, you won't even notice the difference. Living below your means and saving aggressively is the groundwork for every other step in the journey. Without this, 8, investing doesn't matter because you won't have enough capital to put to work. But with it, you're stacking the odds in your favor. You're giving yourself the power to buy assets, build passive income, and reach the point where work is optional. It's not about being cheap, it's about being smart. And when you look back years later, you'll realize that the small sacrifices you made early on bought you decades of freedom that most people never get to experience. 48. Once you've built the habit of living below your means and saving aggressively, the next step is to make your money work for you by investing in assets that pay you. This is where the magic really happens, because saving alone won't get you to early retirement. If you put money in a savings account, it just sits there losing value to inflation year after year. You need your money to grow, and more importantly, you need it to generate income that can eventually replace your job. That's exactly what assets do. They put your money to work so you don't have to. When I talk about assets, I'm not just talking about anything you own. People often confuse assets with liabilities. A flashy new car might feel like an asset because you own it, but in reality, it costs you money every month in fuel, insurance, and depreciation. That's a liability. A true asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Dividend-paying stocks, index funds, rental properties, and businesses are great examples. They don't drain your bank account. They grow it. If your goal is early retirement, these are the tools that will get you there. One of the simplest and most effective ways to start is with the stock market, specifically low-cost index funds or ETFs. These allow you to own a slice of hundreds or even thousands of companies without having to pick winners and losers. It's a hands-off way to grow your wealth steadily over time, and history has shown that the stock market, despite short-term ups and downs, trends upward over the long run. The dividends from these investments can eventually become a steady income stream that pays your bills while you enjoy your freedom. Real estate is another powerful asset. A well-chosen rental property can provide two benefits at once: passive income from rent and long-term appreciation as property values rise. 8. The great thing about real estate is leverage. You don't need to buy the property outright. With a mortgage, you can use the bank's money to acquire an asset. 8. And then your tenants essentially pay down that loan for you while you keep the equity and cash flow. Of course, it requires careful research and management, but when done right, real estate can accelerate your path to retirement. Then there are businesses, whether online or offline. Starting a side business, even on a small scale, can create another stream of income that doesn't rely on your day job. The beauty of a business is scalability. Unlike a regular job where your income is capped, a successful business can grow far beyond what you could ever earn working for someone else. Many people who retire early have at least one side hustle or business that they've scaled into a reliable income machine. Diversification is the key when it comes to building an asset base. You don't want all your wealth tied up in one area because markets can crash or industries can change. By spreading your investments across different types of assets, you protect yourself while still growing your wealth. Think of it as building multiple safety nets. If one income stream slows down, the others are still there to support you. Now, the secret ingredient that ties it all together is reinvestment. When your assets start paying you dividends, rent, or profits, the temptation might be to spend that money right away. But the real acceleration comes from reinvesting those earnings back into more assets. This is how the compounding effect works in your favor. Over time, your assets start producing income. That income buys more assets, and the cycle continues until it snowballs into a level where your assets can fully cover your lifestyle. The mindset shift here is critical. Instead of thinking of money as something to spend, you start thinking of it as a tool to buy freedom. Every pound or dollar you invest is another step toward the day you no longer need to trade your time for money. That's the ultimate goal. Assets that pay you enough so you can walk away from the grind and design your own life. So remember, saving gives you the fuel, but investing is what puts the engine in motion. Without assets, you'll always be tied to a paycheck. With assets, you build a system where money works harder than you ever could. And once you reach that point, early retirement stops being a dream and becomes a very real possibility. Another crucial step on the journey to retiring early is building multiple streams of income. Relying on just one source, like your job, is risky and slows down your progress. Think of it like a chair. If it only has one leg, it's not stable. But if it has 3 or 4, it can stand strong. That's what multiple income streams do for your finances. They give you stability, security, and the power to grow wealth faster than you ever could with just one paycheck. The reality is, jobs are fragile. Even if you've worked for the same company for years, nothing guarantees it will be around forever or that you'll always have that position. Economic downturns, new technology, or even simple management changes can pull the rug out from under you. That's why relying only on a salary is like building your entire financial future on quicksand. To retire early, you need extra income streams that continue paying you no matter what happens to your day job. One way to create additional income is by starting a side hustle. Thanks to the internet, there are endless opportunities to make money outside of traditional work. You could start an online store, offer freelance services, build a YouTube channel, or create digital products. The great thing about side hustles is that many can be started with little to no upfront cost, and they can grow into something bigger than you expected. Some people even end up replacing their job income entirely with a side hustle that took off. Another source of income could be rental properties or real estate investments. If you already have a steady job income, banks are more willing to lend you money for property purchases. Over time, 8. The rental income adds a second stream that can eventually cover a significant part of your living expenses. Combined with property appreciation, this is a powerful wealth-building tool. Then there's dividend income from stocks. By steadily building a portfolio of dividend-paying companies, you can create a steady trickle of cash that comes in whether you work or not. The beauty of dividends is that they can be reinvested to accelerate growth or used later to cover living costs in retirement. It's like planting seeds today and reaping harvests for years to come. A lot of people also overlook business equity as a stream of income. Owning even a small business, whether online or offline, gives you control over how much you can scale. While jobs cap your income at a set salary, businesses have no ceiling. Even something like running a small e-commerce brand, creating an online course, or monetizing a blog can turn into a reliable flow of money over time. The key here is to avoid putting all your eggs in one basket. Let's say you're earning from your main job, plus you have a small online business, some dividend income, and maybe a rental property. If one source slows down or disappears, the others keep you afloat. And if they're all performing well, you're accelerating toward financial independence much faster than someone who depends solely on a paycheck. What's important is to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to build 5 income streams overnight. Pick one extra stream and grow it alongside your main income. Once it's stable, add another. Over time, those streams will stack on top each other until they create a river of income that flows straight into your wealth. The beauty of multiple streams of income is not just financial security, it's peace of mind. You're no longer at the mercy of one employer, one economy, or one market. You're in control. And when those streams grow large enough, they combine to cover all your expenses, freeing you from the need to work altogether. That's when retirement, early retirement, becomes a reality. So if you're serious about reaching financial freedom, don't stop at one source of income. Start planting seeds in different places. Build those streams now, and in a few years, you'll thank yourself for creating a financial foundation that's stable, diverse, and powerful enough to support the life you truly want to live. The final piece of the puzzle in retiring early is all about managing lifestyle choices and avoiding lifestyle inflation. Most people don't fail to retire early because they don't make enough money. They fail because they let their expenses rise every time their income rises. They upgrade their car, buy a bigger house, chase after the latest gadgets, or spend more on luxuries they don't actually need. Before they know it, their lifestyle has expanded so much that they're trapped in a cycle of working just to maintain appearances. If you want to retire early, you must resist this trap and learn to live below your means, even when you're earning more. Think about it this way: every time you increase your spending, 8, you're extending the amount of time you'll have to work before you can retire. A $500 a month car payment might not seem like a big deal in the short term, but that's $6,000 a year that could have been invested. Over a decade, that money invested wisely could grow into a massive sum. The 40 to 8. The small financial decisions you make daily compound just as much as your investments do, and they can either move you closer to or further away from early retirement. One of the best strategies is to create a clear distinction between wants and needs. Needs are the basics: shelter, food, healthcare, transportation. Wants are the extras: the luxury vacations, the brand new car, the designer clothes, or the expensive nights out. There's nothing wrong with enjoying life, but the key is moderation. You don't need to live like a monk, but you do need to keep your priorities straight. 8. Every dollar spent on unnecessary upgrades is a dollar that could have gone into your investment account, helping you hit financial freedom faster. 8. Another part of lifestyle management is surrounding yourself with the right environment. If your friends and family are constantly spending money to impress others, you'll naturally feel pressured to keep up. But if you spend time with people who value experiences, growth, and financial independence over flashy purchases, the 48, you'll feel more supported in your goals. It's much easier to stay disciplined when you're not constantly battling peer pressure to spend more than you should. Budgeting plays a crucial role here too. Many people hear the word budget and think it means cutting out all the fun in life. But in reality, a budget is just a plan for your money. It's about telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. By tracking your expenses, setting savings goals, and limiting unnecessary spending, you gain control over your financial future. When you see your investments growing, it becomes far more rewarding than a new toy or luxury purchase ever could be. It's also worth mentioning the psychological side of lifestyle inflation. Often, people chase expensive things not because they need them, but because they want to feel validated or show others they've made it. But the truth is, financial freedom is the ultimate status symbol. Owning your time, not answering to anyone, and living life on your own terms beats any sports car or luxury watch. Once you adopt this mindset, it becomes much easier to resist the pull of lifestyle inflation and stay focused on what truly matters. Finally, understand that living below your means doesn't mean sacrificing happiness. It means prioritizing it. Many people find that the best things in life, time with loved ones, personal growth, travel, or simply having the freedom to do what they want, don't actually require as much money as they thought. By keeping your lifestyle modest while building wealth, you accelerate your timeline to early retirement. And once you reach it, you can still enjoy those luxuries if you choose, only this time you'll be paying for them with true financial freedom. In the end, Early retirement isn't just about how much money you make or invest, it's about how well you manage your lifestyle choices. If you can master the art of resisting lifestyle inflation, you'll find that your wealth grows faster, your freedom comes sooner, and your life becomes far more rewarding. Because the ultimate goal isn't to look rich, it's to be free.